Hi, I'm Marcy Venezia, and I am the founder of GlueWorks Holistic Coaching. Today, what I'm going to talk about is just-in-time management. So, time on this earth is our most precious commodity. With it, we can change the world or waste away our God-given gifts. How we think about time and use time has a profound effect on our health, our relationships, and our success. So when most people write, you've seen thousands of articles on time management, and people write about it, they talk about it. You probably are looking for ways to manage your time more carefully. But really what I'd like to talk about is time. So time can be divided into two types. There's objective time, which is what all the articles are talking about, and there's subjective time. So let me tell you about subjective time. Every Wednesday, I see Jack, who's a little boy in DCF custody. And when we get together, we don't know where we're going to go, what we're going to do, or anything else. Sometimes we might have an event that we might want to do, but other than that, it's open. We do what we want when we feel like it. And so he gets in the car and he said, well, let's go and get some candy. Now, the first time I took him to get candy at a 7-Eleven, he spent 20 minutes. And what he did is he lost track of time, and he just looked at all the candies and we talked about them, and he had a very, very difficult time deciding what it was. But that process of letting him decide instead of having somebody say, well, get this, or not giving him a chance. He had never been to a candy store where he could take all the time he needed to just think about what worked for him. That was subjective time. More recently, we have been traipsing through the woods with our Nerf guns, and we are shooting and we're looking for zombies. And then occasionally, then it'll switch. If that gets a little bit boring, then we'll switch, and then I'll be the zombie, and he'll go and he'll shoot me. And then it might switch again, and we might be hiding from each other and trying to find ways to shoot each other. All subjective time. We don't care how long it takes. We're just in the moment, and we lose track of time. And so that in the moment, not keeping track of how you're spending your time, that is healing. That allows you to be totally yourself and for you to interact with people on a very real level. It heals, it's creative, and it brings joy. Those are the foundations of determining your priorities when you get into objective time. So priorities come from subjective time. They are your inspiration, your dreams, your hopes, maybe a generalized what kind of needs to be done. And so while you're in subjective time, think about your priorities, and just 3 at the most. Just 3 major ones, because that's really all that our minds can really handle. And then we move into objective time. So objective time is referencing time and space in terms of doing what you want. Now, within that, there's a lot of little techniques that you can do that increases your productivity. I can generally do 4 times as much as most other people for a couple of reasons. One, I've done some time management or time motion studies. And so a time motion study is looking at the behavior that you're doing and what happens when you get to the next behavior, and looking at ways for compressing or eliminating those things that aren't helping you get to your desired goal. So for instance, in the morning, you might get up and go downstairs and make a cup of coffee and maybe watch a little TV, and then you might say, well, I'll leave that and I'll go up and I'll get dressed. I think I'll take a shower and then brush my teeth, and so the sequence of your actions has a profound effect on how much time it takes. So for me, I get up out of bed, I make my bed because I'm right there. And then I go into the bathroom and I brush my teeth and shower. And I did all of the things I need to do in the bathroom, and then I'll go and get dressed. And I'm ready. By the time I walk down the stairs, which is in about 15 minutes, I'm all ready to go for the day. So what I've done is I've rearranged the same activities in a sequence that minimizes the amount of downtime between each activity. So that's what time motion study is. So if you look at what you're doing during a day, there's a lot of time that you're downtime that you have. Now, one of the things I found when I first started to do this is that I needed that downtime to readjust my mind to the next activity. And so it was really difficult. But over time, what I learned to do is, because there's so much routine in a lot of activities, I could prepare myself mentally for the next task without having to use time to have that happen. So it was done more in my mind. Another technique for time management is to do a 24-hour wheel and write in where you sleep, where your meals are, and then look at where you are most capable of doing certain types of activities. So for instance, for me, my creativity happens in the morning. And so I set aside time to do some of the more creative things that I need to do, the longer things. And then in the afternoon, my mind is fried and I'm a little bit ADHD. So that's the best time to do those little tiny things, those emails, checking Facebook and all that sort of stuff, because that's when my mind is more capable of doing that. I also group types of activities together. So I'm not going to do a creative thing and then squish in emails in between, because that distracts me. And each time I shift to another thing, I am losing concentration and focus. And so I'm trying to concentrate those things that help me focus when I'm doing a task. So those are just a couple of things that you can do for your objective time. Make sure to schedule in some subjective time, especially if you have children. Children live almost exclusively in subjective time. I see this boy once a week on Wednesdays, and I can't tell you, when I'm in objective time all week, I can't wait to let go and just have a good time and just free flow and not have to use that part of my brain. It's a lot of energy, and it's healing for me, and it's healing for this little boy, Jack. So remember, just-in-time management. Don't be the white rabbit with the watch always saying, I'm late. Think about time. Do a time management, do a time motion study for yourself, and find ways to make the best use of your capabilities and your time. This is Marcy Venezia, GleeWorks Holistic Coaching.